Morning, good morning, good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Me First Mornings. I am your host and energy alchemist, Patricia Ribeiro Wolfson. I am an intuitive coach and an energy healer. Thank you so much. I just had a coffee delivered by someone very special to me. And I am a wife and a mom to 3 boys. Yes, it is as insane as you think it is. Anyway, my mission is to teach you how to, number 1, calibrate your energy. Number 2, how to integrate self-care into easy, doable steps. And number 3, how to shine your light in the world, in your own unique way. I am slow this morning. I have not yet caught up, probably because I haven't had my coffee. Let me take a little sip. Good morning. Okay, yeah, woo, sing. No, it doesn't work that fast, but feels good. Energetically, it feels like it works that fast. So what are we talking about today? So today, our topic is going to be about grieving. So we're going to talk about how to honor our feelings and emotions, kind of the same thing, but emotion being sort of energy in motion and those feelings that come up about every stage of our life. Now, normally when we talk about grieving, we think about it in terms of grieving a loss. Usually, someone has passed on or, grieving a relationship that has ended. Those are like the big grieving situations that we think about. But there's actually so many other things that we grieve and so many parts of our lives that we grieve. And in fact, grieving is an important part of the transitional process from one stage of our life and then moving on to the next stage, right? As a mother and seeing my kids grow before me, I can be really, really proud and happy about the children that they are and who they've become, and still sort of grieve or miss the loss of, being when they were younger, right? And sort of like those first moments and all of that love and mushiness that you get from a toddler who loves you endlessly no matter what. And, when the kids are a little bit older, the relationship changes and shifts. And of course, it's beautiful and it grows in a different way, but you can still sort of, wish or grieve or miss parts or aspects of your life previously, right? Of motherhood, at a different stage and still be happy with what's happening now. But it's important to give time for those feelings to process. I know for myself, just because I've been using motherhood as the example right now, when I finally came to realize that I wasn't going to have any more children. So I'd had my 3 boys, and I was still, kind of in that baby making mode, or so it felt. I was having a child every 2 years. I had 3 and it was every 2 years. And so to make that decision to be finished or to kind of come to terms with the fact that we were done growing our family, there was a whole grieving process that had to happen for me. In fact, I wrote an article about it, and it's on Huffington Post. And it was about my debate about whether or not to have another baby, taking into consideration where I was in my life, taking into consideration, status and age and what I was looking for, and whether or not I wanted to add another member of the family, another baby, and what may come with all of, that newness and a whole new person and a whole new human, and not knowing who that human's going to be and how that's going to unfold in my life. It was something I really had to allow myself to process all of the emotions about being done, about being not having any more babies. Also meant I had to kind of look at my age and my reality and my life and the stage that I was at. And I was no longer in baby making mode. And now I was in a mom stage of, going into having older children. And, it was a process for me. And that's just one example of, the phases of our life that we do grieve, although I don't know if everybody takes the time to actually to do that, to actually be with your emotions about any big transition in your life. It could even be getting a new job. It could be, or starting a new career, starting a new relationship. Just life changing at different stages, right? Life is certainly different for me at, 47 than it was at 27. And reflecting on all of that, it's important that we give ourselves time to process our emotions about everything. And if you don't stop to really take note, and celebrate all that you've been through, and also take your moment to grieve about, whatever you miss about that part of your life, or to let go of those things that no longer serve you, or to integrate the things that do, right? That's all part of the process. And when we don't allow ourselves to look and feel those emotions, if we don't allow ourselves to miss anything, if we don't allow ourselves to be with all of those feelings and all of those layers of feelings, what happens is we end up shoving those feelings down deep, deep into, our bodies, and they end up taking space as sort of like energetic tension, right? And it's like balls of tension in our body, or, memories that are kind of wrapped up. And it's things that we push down. Imagine in your home, instead of cleaning it, you just like shove things under the carpet. Well, at some point, you're going to lift the carpet and it's going to be a disaster, right? And so processing your emotions is like taking the garbage out. It's like, wow, okay, I'm taking a look at this and saying, this is how I feel about this moment in my life. This is how I feel about these past things. Here's what I'm going to take with me and hold that in my heart because it is a part of who I am. And here's what I'm ready to let go of for this next phase. And if you're not doing that and you're just avoiding that process, it really can stagnate your momentum. It can sort of, now, of course, you guys know that I always say that whatever is meant for you will not be held from you, will not be kept from you. There is no like one chance at this or whatever in life. I don't believe in that. I believe you always have an opportunity to try again over and over and over. That's why we live sort of like this cyclical life. That's why, time is linear, but our experiences are cyclical, right? And we experience similar things in our cycle of life. Okay, so I don't want to get too off topic. I'm going in a lot of different places. I want to say good morning to Mom and Dad who are here watching. Hi. And if anyone else is watching, I want to say hi and thank you for spending this morning with me. And if you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, Jumpstart for Change, please go ahead and subscribe, and also ding that notification bell so that you can be notified whenever I'm going live. I'm usually here for Me First mornings at 10 a.m. Monday through Friday, talking about all sorts of stuff. So please, if you find it helpful, if you enjoy the information, if you want to share it with somebody who may benefit, please go ahead and share and subscribe to the YouTube channel. All right, so let us do our morning ritual, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the grieving process, and I'll pull a card for the collective today. All right, so let's light our candle and get things started. I feel like I need some music. I know that there's somewhere, I just haven't looked into it. I know there's somewhere where I can connect music to, but I have to get like royalty-free music. I just haven't had the chance to look into it. So I lit the candle, putting on a little essential oils. Please join me for the process if you'd like. And we're just going to get the day started together in this way. Okay? Beautiful. Oops. This thing is falling. I like to put the essential oils in my hair because then it smells nice all day. All right. I'm taking the clear quartz spheres. I'm holding them in my hand. You don't need any spheres. You don't need clear quartz. You don't need any crystals. I just like to use them because it helps me in my process, and also it's fun. I like to use them. All right. So we're going to take 3 deep breaths. And this is part of our morning routine. And what we are doing with this morning routine is we want to clear our channel, right? So our body is a vessel and we are like receivers. So we want to make sure that the channel is clear so we can receive information. And also we are connecting with spirit, right? Connecting with our inner guidance. We want to make sure that we are getting the information that resonates with our highest self. And number 3, we are charging up for the day, right? So we are taking a moment to take 3 deep breaths, and we're going to intentionally imagine that there is sunlight coming in, right? Because we are made of both stardust and what I like to say is earth dust. I guess that's dirt. So we're made of stardust and dirt. And so this morning ritual includes sort of us taking in a little bit of the material that we're made of. So we're going to open up the top of our heads with this first deep breath and allow the liquid sunshine to pour into our body and just permeate every single cell in our body, all trillion of them. I think there's like a trillion cells, okay? And I want you to imagine that bright, shining light, and it is going to just break apart or dissipate any stuck, stagnant, or dense energy. Any of those like tension balls or those like balls of energy, those balls of memory that exist within us that we want to kind of loosen up and release during this releasing period. We just had a full moon, and so we are still very much in the energy of letting go. And now that we're here on spring, like yesterday was the first day of spring, it's beautiful because then of course we are setting the intention to step forward, having released the things that we no longer need, like spring cleaning, right? We want to do energetic spring cleaning. And then we step into the future with only the things that are going to serve our journey from this point forward. Okay, so let's take a deep breath now. And hold. And release. Releasing, of course, anything that no longer serves you with that breath. Hello, good morning, bon dia, Clara, bon dia. All right, so now we're going to take another deep breath with our feet well planted on the ground, and I want you to imagine that our feet are just soaking up that life force energy coming from the earth, the same life force energy that is just buzzing under the dirt, and that is just like they're ready to help the plants and the animals, the plants come from under the ground and just burst through the soil. So that same energy of, that life force energy that comes up from the ground, we want you to just imagine that it's coming up through your feet and growing, and you can see it like a root and just extending through every single part of your body, fueling you with the energy and charge of the loving earth that supports us each and every day and each and every moment. Let's do that together now. And hold. And release. Beautiful. And this last breath, let's do a big one all together. And I want you to increase your capacity to breathe as much as possible. And I want you to imagine, I love to imagine this, that you are inflating your wings. Okay. So I want you to energetically imagine when you take a deep breath, you are taking enough breath that you're going to like spread your wings in the back. Okay. And just feel that grandness, that spaciousness, and that connection to nature and to beauty and to that angelic realm. Okay, take a deep, deep breath. And release. Beautiful. Okay, time to put those clear quartz crystals down. And now I just like to stretch my neck and my back. You might be feeling extra tension up here. Okay, and your back, certainly my shoulders have been feeling it big time. If you spend time on the computer, that's where some of your tension is going to be. But just sort of stretch out your body in the areas where you feel any sort of density or tension or tightness or discomfort or even pain. But of course, if you're feeling pain, firstly, I recommend you go see somebody about that. And secondly, be very, very gentle. And so just gently breathe into it. If you have an area of pain, so let's just say I have a little bit of tension on my neck and it's hurting. So as you kind of stretch, you breathe. And when you breathe out, you just stretch it out just a little bit more to release it, okay? So that's what you do. And you can take as long as you want to do this process. If you're on your own doing the Me First Morning ritual, then you could do yoga, you can do breathing exercises. Each part of it could last much, much longer. Just together, I like to do it quick and dirty so that at least it's done and we set our intention together and then we can move on. Okay, so we usually shake it out right now. I normally have my bracelets, but not this morning. Apparently I forgot them. But that's okay. And now we're going to say our Me First Morning prayer and set an intention for us to bring into the day that feeling that we want to embody every single day. So whatever it is that you dream of in the future, whatever it is that you're hoping for, that you wish for, once you get it, what is the feeling that you're going to have once you get everything you want? What's a word that captures the essence of the feeling? Is it freedom? Is it abundance? Is it connection? Is it clarity? Is it confidence? Is it peace? That's a big one for me. Yeah, I like to feel peace. So think about how you want to intend your day to go. And that's what we're going to do right now, when we're going to ask for support from the angels and the guides and basically your spiritual support team to come and help you keep that intention alive in each and every moment of your day. Okay, so let's do that together right now. And if you don't want to say the prayer, that's totally fine. Or if you have your own prayer that is connected to your own religious or spiritual beliefs, that's okay too. Or you can just sit silently and just set the intention by stating what you want that intention to be. Okay, here we go. Divine Mother, Infinite Father, Creator, archangels, ascended masters, spirit guides, ancestors, and all beings of 100% pure white light, allow me to be a clear and open channel of your light and love without hesitation or ego. May the highest vibration of love and light connect with my higher self and release any and all things that no longer serve me. I ask that Saint Germain and his infinitely powerful violet flame burn away the things that no longer serve myself or humanity and hold us back from our divine existence. Help us to embody our intentions for the day and help us to raise the collective vibration for the highest and greatest good of all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So be it, and so it is. So good. Okay, now let's talk, okay? So let's talk about grieving. And I'm going to start, I'm going to pull from the Kyle Gray deck today, the Keepers of the Light. I'm feeling that is an appropriate deck for today's question or today's topic of grieving. So it's a very personal process, right? Letting go of people, places, experiences, and parts of ourselves, and, even truth, right? Like sometimes we can grieve the truth that we thought was the truth, and then we find out that things are not what we thought they were, and you need to have some time to grieve that, to grieve, either the information that you didn't know that you thought you knew. And, as I said in my post today, if you guys read it, sometimes we don't know the truth because it's kept from us, because there's a betrayal involved. But sometimes we don't know the truth because it just hasn't been revealed to us. It just hasn't, we're just not at the stage where we will learn that, or we learn it later. And so when we do learn the truth about things, it can be very upsetting, and we sometimes need to grieve the idea or the expectation that we had before we learned the truth. And that can be with so many different things, that you can be grieving, when you hear information about a situation where you find out, that of course, if you find out someone's betrayed you or someone's been lying or they are not who they say they are, you have to grieve that. You have to grieve the person you thought they were. You have to grieve the expectation that you had. You may be receiving information about your health or, about the state of the world. I mean, if you think about what we've been through for the last 2 years, we need to grieve the lives that we have lost, not just the literal lives that we've lost, but also how everything has completely been upended and changed. And this is something that, at least in my family, we talk a lot about this because, it just doesn't feel like we've been given the time to really process everything that's happening. And not only have we not been given that time, but it seems like we keep getting hit over the head with all of this stuff going on. It's like, just as we're kind of feeling like, okay, maybe, we're on not the tail end of COVID, but, we've got COVID down where it's like, okay, we're going to be living with this thing for a while. I think we've got it figured out how to manage this on a, sort of day by day basis or whatever. But then war breaks out, right? And so, we've been hit over the head quite a few times, and still things keep going, and the expectation that we're just supposed to show up and keep moving and keep being productive and just do everything as if everything is status quo is ridiculous. It's ridiculous, and our children are suffering for it because we have not given our kids the tools to grieve the situations that happen in their life. We have kids that for these past 2 years, especially young ones, they don't know how to behave around people in the same way, right? That's like, wear a mask, don't wear a mask. And I'm not getting into a mask debate. I'm just saying that emotionally and energetically, our kids have been in a state of trauma for the last 2 years. We've been in a state of trauma for the last 2 years. And what's worse is that it feels like we haven't really been able to process it, because that first year of COVID, that first year, basically, it seemed that everybody kind of didn't know what was going on. So there was a lot of unknown. There was a lot of like, let's just, wait for things to get back to normal. And then after a while, we were like, okay, I'm not sure if things are ever going to get back to normal. And then as soon as things started to open up again, everybody's like forcing themselves to get back to normal. Okay, it's time to just like get right back into it. But without processing the grief of all of the change and transitions that we've been through. And we are having these expectations that people should just be able to, okay, like let's hop to it. Well, that's just the way things are. And I feel like we are missing the honoring of our experiences. We are missing that time to process, right? And maybe some people have processed, and I hope you have, and I certainly have tried to process for myself and help my family process the things that they've been going through. But just like anything else, there are no rules to grieving. If you lose somebody you love, some people, if you lose somebody you love, you grieve for the rest of your life in one way or another. And there are different phases and stages of that grief. Well, same thing in our lives when we lose maybe a part of what our lives looked like, when we lose the expectations of what we thought our life was going to look like, when we come to terms with the reality of the way things are and the separation of what we thought it would be. We need to grieve all of those processes. We need to recognize our feelings about everything and also forgive ourselves for feeling whatever we feel about it. You can be excited for the possibilities of the future and also petrified, right? You can be hopeful for what's to come and also feel sad and disconnected from all the things that you've lost in the journey to get here. And so I ask you that, to take some time today to think about what are some of the things in your life that you have not given yourself an opportunity to grieve. What things have you put into, the parts of your body? I'm saying it's in the parts of your body, but energetically, what have you put aside or shoved down deep that you don't want to discuss because you're afraid of what might come up, what feelings might come up, what it might bring out for you, or what consequences may come if you start to really take a look at your feelings about all of the things in your life and about all of your thoughts and emotions about the stages and phases you are in your life. It's really important to witness it and to be part of it, and also to not be afraid of it. Because I do feel a lot of people fear facing their emotions because they think, well, if I start looking at that stuff, I'm going to tear my whole life apart and I'm just going to destroy everything. And I don't want to do that. So since I don't want to destroy my life, I'm not going to look at the things that bother me right now. I'm just going to pretend that those things don't exist. I'm just going to shove them into whatever corners of my life that I can shove them into so I don't have to look at them right now. But yet we feel the weight. We feel the tension. We feel the sadness. And it's bubbling up in our bodies. And you may find yourself having a panic attack, or you may find yourself completely overwhelmed and not know why. You may find yourself welling up in tears over the dumbest things. And that's because you have this grief that's just sitting and, just beneath the surface of this, whatever it is that we're going through. And some people might be smiley. I kind of tend to be a smiler, regardless of whether or not I'm happy or sad. I try to be a positive person. But there's other people who, will be very closed off or, seem stoic. And deep inside, their hearts are breaking and they still are not connecting with those feelings, connecting with those emotions. They're not looking at allowing themselves to experience all of the feelings. And I hope that that's not what you're doing, because I really encourage you to take the time to just be with all of your feelings about everything going on in your life. Because when you can take an honest and open look at everything that's happening in your life and embrace and accept where you are, with also hopeful, looking towards the future and releasing what's happened up until now with, love and compassion and grace, well, then you can move forward and move on to the next level in a completely different way. Hi, Leslie. Good morning, Sound. Good morning. I'm so glad you guys are here. All right, so I'm going to pull a card and let's see what the guides have to say about grief and processing grief. And I did, if you guys haven't seen my post, which is attached to this video, I recommend you just take a look at it, because there was a few things that I did right that I felt were special. Okay, here we go. Grief. Just thinking about it sometimes makes me want to cry. It's good to feel into it, though. And right now, the energy of grief is very much alive, because we have so much going on in the world that we are grieving. Changes, transitions, illusions being disrupted. It's a lot. It's a lot for us to deal with. All right, here we go. I think my cards are upside down. Yeah, they're upside down. All right, here we go. Good group watching this one. Yeah, looks like we got a nice group here. Hello, everyone. Welcome. I guess it's a good topic. Maybe everybody's grieving and wants to know what to do about it. If you guys do like this topic and you want me to talk about it more, if there's any topic that you want me to discuss or approach, feel free to, either write in the comments, like, I'd love for you to discuss this topic, or reach out to me privately and, like in DM or private message or however, through my social media channels. You can reach out to me and just let me know if there's a topic that you'd like me to cover, that you would like some guidance with from my energetic perspective. All right, so here we go. Let's see what the angels have to say about grief today. I love this. Okay. All right. So here's the card that I pulled up today, and it's Gaia. No accident. Earth connection. Okay. So here's what it says. Be mindful of the planet. Come back to Earth. Stay grounded. I mean, if this isn't the most perfect card, and I'll tell you why, because of course the spring equinox was yesterday. And so we are transitioning like the entire, well, okay, here in the Northern Hemisphere, we are transitioning, or where you have seasons, I'm in New York, so we're transitioning into spring. And with it, of course, comes the hope of new things. It comes excitement, and the weather starts to change, and the birds are singing, and you start seeing the budding flowers. My crocuses were already a couple weeks ago, but yesterday I was like, ooh, I've got lilacs coming up, and there's definitely like sort of the spring, that spring feeling in the air. I won't say love is in the air, but love can be in the air too. And so nature has a beautiful way of holding space for you as you allow yourself to transition from one time of your life to another time, right? So of course, with wherever you are in the world, even if you're not, if it's not spring equinox where you are, that's okay too. This still works. If you take some time to go outside, and especially using today's topic as an example, if you are grieving, if you are processing anything, if there are some emotions that you're feeling that you maybe need some clarity on, or things that you feel like you want to let go of or need to let go of, or if you're feeling stuck, go outside and just connect with nature in whatever way you can. Whether it's putting your bare feet in the soil, whether it's taking a walk down your block, whether it's putting your hands on a tree and just breathing for a few minutes and allowing yourself to feel the connection between you and Mother Earth. When you do that, you are able to tap in to a much greater purpose. You are able to direct your energy to be connected to Earth, right? Which is why we're here. We're here to raise the vibration of the planet. We're here to usher in humanity into the next new level of our evolution. And so it's easy to get distracted between, binging on Netflix or, whatever it is you have going on in your life, work, responsibilities, it seems like endless things that we're dealing with or that are on our plates right now. And with all of those things, we can easily get distracted and overwhelmed. So when you are feeling that distraction and you are feeling that overwhelm, go outside, connect with nature in whatever way you can. Just look at the birds, listen to them singing, and allow yourself to just be distracted by nature's bounty. And I promise you, you are going to be able to connect with your inner guidance in a way that you can't read it in a book. You can't, watch a show, even listening to podcasts. I mean, yes, meditations are great and inspirational podcasts are great. And I'm someone who obviously listens to a ton of inspirational podcasts and, inspirational books and all that kind of stuff. But let me tell you, I never get as much clarity and connection as I do from the silence outside, from just being in nature and being completely present with nature. So I think that that's what the guides are telling us, especially if you are processing grief and going through whatever transition you are going through in life. Know that you are always divinely guided and supported, and we have an entire planet at our disposal for us to be able to use and feel embraced by. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Leslie. Thank you, Linda. I'm glad you guys are here this morning. I know I ran a little bit late, but I feel like it was an important topic. And let me just look at Gaia in the book, because I usually read to you what it says. So Gaia is Mother Earth. She is the keeper of the light who holds the planet in her hands and heart. Her kiss is on every animal's forehead. She is the life that moves through the plants, the sweetness within the honey, and the force that encourages the bees to fly. She loves, protects, and guides all beings. And she asks us to love them too. How can we help them? How can we help the planet? All right, so that is exactly it. When we are processing our own grief, when we are feeling all our feelings about everything, even if you find that you get lost in your emotions or lost in your direction, lost in your focus, disconnected from everything, take a moment to be with nature and just think, how can I positively contribute to this? Right? And really just sit and think about that and connect with nature and wait for your answer. It may not come in that moment. It may just come at another time. You may be just walking down the street and suddenly you hear something or see something, and then boom, you have an idea, and it will shift your focus. And not just that, it will help you to release that grief about any loss or past situation that you have not been able to let go of. Allow nature to help you move forward as it does so beautifully, right? Nature does not dwell. It just keeps growing and moving, evolving and expanding. And you deserve to do the same thing too. All right. Thank you so much. Thanks, Mom. I'm glad you liked the message today. I will be back tomorrow. Please don't forget to please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Jumpstart for Change. I'm looking to get 100 subscribers, so spread the word, let people know, invite them to come and watch the channel. I am here at 10 o'clock EST every Monday through Friday on YouTube and Facebook. Thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.